and if I could be allowed to finish, Honorable James, I took exception to him saying that there were rogue elements. If the Honorable James remembers what the Honorable Malema said, I indicated in the manner in which he put it, I could not dispute that. If you talk of Mr. Belochin, if there are criminal allegations, those must be investigated. That is not a rogue element. That is completely different from how I understand the rogue element to be. The rogue element is someone, as described by the Honorable Malema, who might be compromised in terms of giving information about cases and details of cases to Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi or anybody else. That is the rogue, as I understood.
Here we are unpacking another word now, the meaning of rogue elements. In my mind, rogue elements means anyone that's possibly linked to any form of corruption or that has any case. IDAC has a newly established body basically to root out corruption. And here you have a member within IDAC that has an active case, and you are justifying his appointment.
I'm not justifying his appointment, Honourable
But
Member.
can we agree that you have a member employed in IDAC that has 2 cases and the one hasn't been finalized? That IDAC is compromised?
You refer to the cases, Honourable James. I'm saying to you that if there are cases, they will be investigated. That has not put the member at risk. In the way that you put it, I hear you.
Mm-hmm.
I hear what you are saying. I'm not disputing what you are saying. I'm saying that there have been no findings made against the person in question.
Okay.
However, given what you raise about how matters should perhaps be dealt with, what I do undertake to do is myself to ask about these investigations, the status of those investigations, because if, in the manner that you summarize it, it would have an impact on how it looks for IDAC and its integrity.
All right, I'm going to put it to you now. Does this not raise concern regarding transparency and accountability within IDAC? When the general public now hears that there's someone appointed within IDAC, does that not raise concerns?
It should.
Thank you. The case involving General Khumalo, you mentioned noise was made, right? You rightfully spoke about the seriousness of irregular appointments categorized as corruption. Do you agree that this extends far beyond a single incident within SAPS, within crime intelligence, irregular appointments?
That is correct, Honourable James.
Your husband works for crime intelligence, right?
That is correct.
Who does he report to?
At the moment, I don't know. I know there's an acting. There's a female that is acting. Sorry, her surname...
does he not report to General Khan?
No, he does not.
He does not.
There is a female general, a female brigadier that is acting in the component. Her surname is Krishna Dutt.
I thought you said you don't discuss work.
I know who he reports to.
You know, okay.
Yes.
So
that's not discussing work.
You were saying that you are aware of the fact that this wasn't a single incident of irregular appointment.
I am aware, but I haven't had other evidence as we have had in this matter and or referrals as we have had in this matter.
Okay, so do you know General Feroz Khan?
Honourable Member, yes, I do.
Do you know anything about his appointment?
No, I'm not privy to his appointment, Honourable Member.
Do you know that he went from colonel to general without an appointment, without a post being advertised? Does that not also translate to corruption that you should be investigating?
If that was the case, yes, then it is an irregularity and it should be looked at. I'm not aware of the process. I am aware that he was a colonel and became a general only because in my time in the broader NPA, we were working with crime intelligence, and so you get to hear about people. But that was never an issue that was brought to the fore or raised, nor was it in the time of IDAC.
All right, so even if there's smoke, you won't respond to it. Are there no other ways of you detecting or getting involved in any cases other than a case actually or lead or someone actually reporting it to you? Because this is rife within SAPS. Irregular appointments, it's very, very rife. This is not a single matter, and you acted quite swiftly on this. Based on the fact that there's factions within crime intelligence, here you have there's two factions, right? Here you have this one general that you have pursued swiftly, well done, and you have someone else that you haven't done anything about. You're aware of his appointment, but you haven't done anything about it.
On a point of correction, Honorable James, I said I was aware that at a stage, General Khan was a colonel, and through the course of our work, heard that he had become a general. I am not aware of what process was followed or not followed, and at the time, I was not in IDAC.
Okay, now that it has been brought to your attention, will you be investigating it, his
Can someone
appointment?
kindly send us a Section 27 referral? That is our intake mechanism. It's not something I can run away from. It does not mean that we are running away from accountability. So if there's a Section 27 referral and there's something to be investigated, it most certainly will be investigated.
You also mentioned earlier on that you received threats. I think this was shortly after General Khumalo's arrest. Did you report this? Did you hand in your phone? Did you get to the bottom of these threats?
The threats came well before the arrest of General Khumalo. The matter was escalated, yes, to the Risk and Security Division of the NPA. The message was forwarded to them. It was just one, a WhatsApp that I received on my phone. I don't use, so whilst I have two cell phones, the NPA is not responsible for my phones. I don't claim anything from the NPA. I have my two phones on my contract, although I do use them for official purposes. The message was escalated. It was shared with Risk and Security. They then took steps to ensure that, that I was taken care of in terms of various safety provisions.
All right,
What we did do as IDAC, we first wanted to see if we can find out the holder of the number, and it is what is colloquially called a burner phone. It had no owner. So there was nothing to be able to report to the police, but I reported it internally to our Risk and Security. They also did due diligence, Honorable Member, and were unable to trace that number.
All right, were you not meant to actually hand in your phone so that it can be properly downloaded? To also verify the authenticity of that message. I know I had something similar, and even though they received the message and the number, it was important for them to actually take the phone in to also verify that I probably didn't send it to myself, the origination. So did that happen?
They did view my phone, and they also took a screen grab of the phone. It was just one message, and you could see the number from which it was sent, and that it was sent to me. It is time-stamped. It is a very specific message, and they had sight of the phone. There was no need to download it. They had sight of the phone and of the message. It was one message.
I just find that really strange that these processes vary, because as I know, your phone must be downloaded, it needs to be booked in, and the message, and it needs to be sort of cleared in that way. But anyway, if that's the way they did it on your phone, then that's fine. Are you familiar with the mandate of Gauteng counterintelligence? We spoke about it earlier on.
No.
Are you familiar with the mandate of PKTT?
Other than what I read, or know that they are called the Political Killings Task Team, which I thought was self-explanatory, I am not aware of the scope and ambit of the work that they have to do, Honourable Member.
Okay, earlier on you mentioned that PKTT was there when they handed over the phones, and you said that you are familiar with the fact that they are the Political Killings Task Team. And didn't that raise brows, the fact that you have that team handing over the gadgets?
There was no eyebrows to be raised, because it is the National Commissioner who facilitated the handing over of the phones. They were the custodian of the phones. For us, it didn't matter who had them. We wanted access to the phones so that we could download them as per our warrant.
But in this House, you realize that the contention is around PKTT. And it is very important that we get it right when we say that the team that was investigating, or the team that sort of confiscated these cell phones, was PKTT.
I understand, but IDAC had nothing to gainsay that they behaved in a way that they shouldn't have, except for when the phones did reach us. And I do not cast aspersions on them. The phones were on. We don't know who put them on. We downloaded the phones, and one found that there were items that were deleted from the phones. So at the time, Yes, we got the phones from someone the National Commissioner says is from the PKTT, but that is as far as it went. There wasn't anything to cast aspersions about them. We questioned why the phones were on and why data was downloaded. I can't tell you that the PKTT
Did you ever get a response for that question? Why the phones were on, why data was compromised? Did you ever investigate that further?
That is part of the investigation that we are conducting, yes. It forms part of the broader Nhlanhla investigation into the corruption.
Can you also advocate, just tell me, what is the current caseload being handled by IDAC? And this is just for my own purpose.
So at the moment, Honorable James, we have over 250 accused that are currently in court, that is individuals as well as entities. And we have 59 authorized investigations, and that is full investigations. And then there are investigations that are still coming on board. And we in a year cycle, look at how many of the matters that we can do. Now that we are in a permanent position and have been able to recruit, the turnaround is expected to be different from what it was.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.